So, I have a scandalous story. Scandalous story. A congresswoman, a progressive congresswoman, has said fuck. Oh my God. Oh my God. They said fuck. Oh my God. CNN, MSNBC, the establishment is in an uproar that new Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, representing the great city of Detroit, has dropped an F-bomb. If you haven't seen it, here it is, folks. Scandalous.
And when your son looks at you and says, Mama, look, you won, bullies don't win. And I said, baby, they don't. Because we're going to go in there and we're going to impeach the motherfucker.
All right, we're back with David Gregory, MJ Lee, and Alex Burns. MJ, she knows that people are holding cameras up like this, taping it. So this wasn't like a hot mic moment. Right. This was a message. And I think that you can hear already that a lot of the freshman class is filled with vim and vigor, as my euphemism for something else. And so will we see some flame throwing? I mean, is this a style that they're coming to Washington with that they think will be effective?
I mean, probably. And, particularly on the impeachment issue, yes, this is not the kind of language that we're used to hearing from sworn-in members on Capitol Hill. However, we do know that the issue of impeachment is one that people around the country think about. And obviously, especially for the critics and people who are not supporters of the president, they do get worked up about this issue. And Democratic members who are running for office or are already in politics, they know that this is an important way to sort of rally the base and is a way to get supporters excited. And I think it's not a mistake that a new member of Congress on the very first day on the job would talk about this issue. I don't know that using that kind of...
That was actually the most tame response I saw on cable news today. Oh my God. CNN and MSNBC, not in that segment, but every other segment I've seen, has been an absolute, oh my God, there's cursing in this establishment? Oh my God, this is not how you act as an elected official? Oh my God, she doesn't know how Washington works. First of all, and I've already been demonetized because I curse, I say, fuck. There needs to be more fucks in Congress. And we need to hear Rashida Tlaib and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ro Khanna. Yes, they're professionals and congressmen. But as I tweeted earlier, can we get Rashida Tlaib to say, hey, why is the motherfucking water in Flint, Michigan still fucking poisonous after 5 fucking years? In April, it's going to be 5 years. Can we get a fuck over that? So, they're freaking out that she said a curse word. So I have no problem with her or anyone else cursing. And I do want to point out the hypocrisy. I didn't hear cable news or politicians or anybody saying a word in outrage over this.
I want to thank this amazing campaign of people, not a dime from a single pack, all people, all the time, in every single part of Texas. All of you showing the country how you do this. I'm so fucking proud of you guys. I just now...
Ooh, Beto O'Rourke with the tongue. Beto O'Rourke. But now he's the new Obama. He cursed. He cursed. But I didn't hear anyone freaking out. Literally, there's been segment after segment after segment after segment on MSNBC and CNN today about Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. By the way, one of two. She is one of 2 first Muslim women elected to the U.S. Congress. Historic. You don't really hear that much in the coverage. It's that, oh my God, she cursed. Dirty, dirty word. Oh my God, she said this in front of her son? Her son? Rashida Tlaib cursed. And I say, great. But here's where I slightly disagree with Rashida Tlaib. And I want to be clear. I want to be clear of something. I recognize that I am a white man saying this. I recognize that I'm a white man saying this, so there is a certain amount of white privilege in all white people. Even if we care about black people, even if we care about equality for black people, both economically, socially, we all have white privilege. So I understand that for Rashida Tlaib, Trump is a more, inherently, he would be more of a clear and present danger to her than necessarily me, because she is Muslim. And Trump basically took off with Islamophobia and birtherism against President Obama. And obviously, you know, we're going to ban all Muslims from the country, and just disgusting, vile language. So I, as a white person saying this, I understand that for her, impeaching Donald Trump is a priority. And viscerally, she wants to see it done because Donald Trump is threatening Muslims, not just in America, but around the world. So I want to make sure that it's clear that I totally understand it. However, I have no problem with her dropping, you know, motherfucking F-bombs. You know, it is a motherfucking disgrace at the income inequality in this country. It's a motherfucking disgrace at the fossil fuel companies basically being given carte blanche to destroy our planet, our water, our animals, and our air. It is a motherfucking disgrace that black men are being executed all over America with no real justice for those black men. And black men can't leave their apartments in safety. Hell, they can't even live in their apartments in safety. Look at the example of Botham Jean, executed in his own apartment. So I think she's right as far as I understand why she is calling for impeachment. However, because obviously she is Muslim, and Donald Trump has directly threatened Muslims. He is disgraceful. However, I think this is the wrong message, especially among the few newly elected actual progressives. Not in love with the fact that she voted for the new rules package that had PAYGO in there, if I'm keeping it real. But I don't think it's the right message that she's sending by the first things being said, we're going to fucking impeach Donald Trump. I don't think that's a good message for progressives. I do think eventually you're going to see that being the message of the Democratic Party. I do think overall that's going to be the message of Nancy Pelosi. She's playing it straight right now, saying we're not talking about impeachment. Trust me, they'll be talking about impeachment. Why? Because they want to talk about everything else. They want to distract and deflect onto everything else other than money in politics, other than the planet burning down, other than, basically crumbs to the workers. Essentially today, it just came out, unemployment went up from 3.7% to 3.9%. Why? And finally, CNN acknowledged this because hundreds of thousands of people started looking for work again. Meaning the unemployment rate being low, a big part of it is hundreds of thousands of people have stopped looking for work. So this is not structurally a great economy. But I like Rashida Tlaib. I like what she stands for. I like her policies. But I think whether it's her or anyone else, they should not immediately, the first thing on their mind, be impeaching Donald Trump. She also wrote an op-ed piece in the Detroit Free Press calling on the impeachment of Donald Trump. I don't think this is a good strategy for progressives right out of the gate. And don't get me wrong, I don't like Donald Trump. I say be careful what you wish for, because you want to impeach Donald Trump, you got a much more you got a much nicer sounding, more competent radical who's going to get more toxic shit done in Mike Pence waiting in the wings. So be careful what you wish for in impeaching Donald Trump. But I don't think that should be the priority of Rashida Tlaib or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or Ro Khanna or Pramila Jayapal or any progressives right now. Let the Mueller investigation be what it is. Let's see what the findings are. And let's focus. You're not going to defeat Donald Trump. You're not going to get progressive solutions. You're not going to get progressive legislation until you impeach the Democratic Party. You cannot defeat Donald Trump with a slightly nicer sounding Republican light version of the Democratic Party. They need to see the immediate thing that needs to be taken down is the Democratic Party. That's why they were elected, to take on the the corporate Democratic establishment. I hope Rashida Tlaib keeps up the language. I don't want to see her and Ocasio-Cortez and these newly elected officials, play the Washington game and sound very nice and let's talk about bipartisanship. No, you got elected, burn down the village. You need to burn down the village. I'm not talking about violence, of course. I'm talking about, again, I understand I'm white and I understand why she feels so strongly about impeaching Donald Trump. She is one of 2 women that are the first Muslim women in Congress. It's historic and an amazing thing. It's wonderful to see Muslim Americans now representative in our government. It should have happened a long time ago. And I totally understand why Rashida Tlaib wants Donald Trump impeached. He has literally called for a ban of Muslims. He has increased Obama's drone program that's killing who the hell knows how many is the number, innocent Muslims around the world. Totally understand. But I don't think that is the right message. I think Rashida Tlaib, Ocasio-Cortez, Ro Khanna, Pramila Jayapal, Raul Grijalva, who I don't understand why he voted for the pay-as-you-go rule, they need to be united in going after the corporate Democratic establishment status quo. Because forget Trump. You're not going to defeat Trump until you force Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party to start listening to progressives. You're not going to defeat Trump. We've already seen what happens when you run a corporate establishment warmonger. And that's what they want to do again. They just want to do it maybe Beto, maybe Biden, maybe Booker, maybe Kamala. Not going to get it done. Not going to get it done.